Alright, so in my last video I gave a quick breakdown on the hunters. They have 24 million armor, 8 million health, and they have 3 medkits. Now this is kind of important information depending on the type of build that you're using. If you're going with a more defensive build, obviously you're just going to be wearing down the medkits anyway, so the amount of health doesn't necessarily matter. But what I am about to show you here can be useful for sniper builds that are trying to take out the hunters in as little, shots as they can. The hunters themselves use a medkit, or their medkit protocol is kind of procced when they reach 2.5 armor bars, meaning you've dropped 14 million of their armor and left them with 10 million armor. So they will end up, medkitting at this point. And the key to a lot of the sniper builds is to drop them to this point, but not below it. So you want to get them as low as possible. And generally I try to aim for 3 bars. That way I'm not, proccing their medkits prematurely. Now to demonstrate how this works, I kind of made this crappy animation. All right, the hunters appear. You're going to start prepping them. You're going to do that damage to knock them down to 3 armor bars, or roughly 2.5 armor bars. And then you're going to switch to your sniper rifle, preferably a bigger sniper rifle like the Nemesis. And if you prep them properly and have a sniper build that can actually do the amount of damage that you need, you will end up depleting their life faster than a tin of baked beans at an English breakfast, which will result in an easy KO for you, and of course, the golden lighthouse at the end. But this planning really kind of left me with the thought process of, is there any other builds or any other types of, combinations that can really take advantage of this? Is there a way to ensure that you are successfully taking out the hunters without any fuss? You don't want to go through the process of constantly going through their medkits, especially if you are a DPS build. If you're squishy, you want them down the first time, every time. And like I've been showing you guys in the last couple of videos, I've been just testing things out on the hunters and, kind of just seeing what works, what doesn't work, having some fun with them. And there's been a couple close calls where I've been, using the Scorpio Shotgun, even though I wasn't really a damage dealing build. And I've had a good amount of success on these builds, even if they were tankier than normal, or even if they had more skill than I would probably like on a DPS type build. And it kind of got me thinking that, looking back at this footage, it didn't really look like I was using the Scorpio properly. I was missing a lot of opportunities because I was failing at using it. Now, looking at the Scorpio Shotgun, the key thing to note here is obviously first stack is going to be poison. So the first shot you hit on them, they're going to be poisoned, start taking damage. The third shot, they're going to get disoriented, and they're basically just going to stand there and, not shoot back. Then at 6 shots, you're going to shock them. And then of course at 7 stacks, they're going to be taking 20% additional damage from all sources. But what I was seeing here is if I just empty all my rounds of the Scorpio into the hunter at once, I'm going to get them disoriented, then I'm going to shock them while they're still disoriented, and I'm going to be left with an empty weapon. It just, it just doesn't work. It's not a great strategy, right? Now I went into the range just to show you guys what I'm talking about, or at least what I'm thinking, without any distractions or any, movement going on in the background. Now hopefully you saw the small adjustment that I did here while shooting at this target. It's not much, but it means the difference between dropping the hunters and letting them escape to medkit. Slowing this down real quick. What I've done is I hit them with that disorient after 3 shots. I fired 2 more into them, giving me a total of 5 shots on target. But then I stop firing. I reload, giving me 8 more rounds. As soon as I start shooting at the target again, they become shocked. This allows me to put 13 rounds from the shotgun into the hunter without really having to worry about them taking me out. Now, while attempting this, I kind of messed up a little bit because obviously you want to get the hunters as close to you as possible, but they've got skills and they kind of throw them whenever they want. But it still worked, right? He was confused. I reloaded, emptied 8 more rounds into him, and if I'd actually been, aiming on target a little bit better, a little bit closer, I would have had him there. But of course he ran behind the door. I still managed to get him, but of course it was annoying. Now the biggest problem actually with this build was just waiting, because normally you're like, okay, I don't want the hunters to rush me, I don't want the hunters to rush me. In this case, I actually do want them to rush me. I want them to rush me as soon as possible so I can get this over with. You also need to keep in mind, that they are going to try to throw their skills into the room. This is why I highly suggest a good AR or a rifle to take those out. But once they do rush in, again, you can see 5 rounds, reload, 8 more rounds, and this time it works perfectly. Extremely easy, and it really doesn't require much. And this is what I'm going to get into. I haven't showed you guys a build yet because, honestly, it doesn't matter. You really just need, some preference pieces, to basically provide what you want for the fight. Maybe you want a little bit of armor regen. Maybe you want some shotgun damage, really whatever you want. In my case, I've gone with the Coyote Mask because obviously 25% crit hit damage within that 15-meter range. That's nice. I've gone with extra crit chance from the Cheska, extra crit damage from the Grupo, armor damage from the Contractor's Gloves. I got an additional improvised piece for the extra crit damage mod on there, and then of course I've got a Bellstone knee pad just for armor regen. Now, I don't really need the armor regen, but I figured, just in case I get hit by a status effect or something, I hate those mortar turrets. I hate those freaking hives. That's really the only thing you need to focus on while you're hiding from them. Just making sure that those skills don't get thrown behind you and take you out. Now, as far as the talents go, it's really up to you guys. I was using Obliterate. It works well enough. I'm not going to say it's like the greatest talent for this build. I honestly wasn't even thinking about it. This was just something I was testing while fighting the hunters. It was just gear that I had on me, and I didn't farm for anything. I was just putting stuff together just to see what I could put together that would work. Now, what you end up roughly wanting is somewhere in the realm of like 3 million per blast. So really the focus is on just having enough to keep you alive and focusing pretty much everything else on the damage aspects. So you can put whatever talents you want as long as you get to the damage that you need. Anyway, this is just one of the very easy, basic, simple, pretty much anyone can do it methods for dealing with the hunters. A lot of people don't want to farm for disrupt resistance mods or protection from elite mods. They don't want to roll all those improvised pieces. There's plenty of reasons why some people just won't use a build, even if it makes the fight easier. This, of course, is easy. It's simple. You can put it in pretty much any DPS build that you already have. As long as you have the Scorpio Shotgun, this method just works. In my testing, it's 100% success rate. You just wait for the hunters, take out their skills before they get you if they throw them in there, and then, again, just wait and take them out. Easy. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope this helps you out. I'll see you in the next one.